Terry Foy inside Lacrosse here at the Krensler Dome on the campus of Cleveland State as the Vikings fall to the Michigan Wolverines 13-8 in their Division I men's varsity debut with Patrick McEwen. Patrick, some standouts for Michigan included sophomore attackman Brent Noseworthy, who finished with 6 goals, senior midfielder Mikey Schlosser, who went for 3 goals and an assist, Ian King, an attackman, who went for 4 assists, and Tommy Height in goal, making his first start, finished with 14 saves. On the Vikings side, Nick Wendell got the Vikings on the board with the first goal of the game, the first goal in program history. Tristan Copeland went for 2 goals and an assist as the offensive leader for the Vikings, and Caleb Espinoza finished with 12 saves, particularly sharp after settling in after a rocky first part of the first quarter and into the second quarter. What to you was the key outcome in this game?
I thought the big difference was really the Michigan's athleticism between the lines. I think they had a number of fast break opportunities that were created, and I thought in the settled situation, they have a couple of big midfielders in Decker Kren and Mikey Schlosser that Cleveland State didn't really have kind of the horses to run with them, to turn and run with them in the settled offense. They were just having to constantly slide, which opened up those seams inside for Brett Noseworthy to cut and get open and catch and finish on those 6 goals.
2 pivotal turning points. First, in the middle of the second quarter, Cleveland State cut Michigan's lead to 6-4. Coming off of the subsequent face-off, hit a pipe. Michigan comes down and scores at the other end, a Schlosser goal, and then carries a 7-4 lead into halftime. Coming out of the second half, Michigan went on a 6-1 run into the fourth quarter. During that third quarter, was there anything in particular that stood out as Michigan was able to really impress?
I felt like they kind of just cleaned up things. Not so many mistakes. Kind of a few of the bad passes, perhaps unforced errors that kind of resulted in some of those Cleveland State possessions and goals in the first half were cleaned up in the second half. They were really sharp and focused coming out of halftime.
Coach John Paul's squad now advances to 1-0. Coach Dylan Sheridan's squad now turns their attention to the second game in program history in Durham against the Duke Blue Devils.
College David inside Lacrosse. We are at Providence, where the Friars unfortunately fell in double overtime to BU. Really hard-fought game, a little sloppy to start. Lots of turnovers, 15 turnovers in fact in the first half. Ended up turning into a great game. BU coming back, never led in the game, came back to force overtime in the fourth quarter. Goal by Ruiz put it there, and a face-off win by Stuckey in both the fourth quarter and the first overtime gave them possessions to win it, but in the end it was a double overtime strike from Homeyer that brought it home for the Terriers. First victory of the season.
Welcome to my Inside Lacrosse Epic Game Day recap. I'm Matt Kinnear, live here from my house, just back from my trip to Newark, Delaware, where Bucknell came back from 5 goals down to beat Delaware in a surprisingly high-powered offensive contest. The Bison won 14-13 thanks to a late surge led by attackman Will Sands and midfielder Sean O'Brien. Sands had 5 assists and 2 goals. O'Brien put in 6 goals with an assist. This duo was unstoppable late. Sands hitting O'Brien for 4 of the last 5 goals. Sands didn't just do it with passing. The first 2 goals of the game, once he dodged right, once he dodged left, both times were goals. The biggest takeaway, this is a character win for Bucknell. This was a Delaware team that really came out on fire. This offense looked the best that it has in years in Newark. Andrew Romagnoli just getting to the rack and scoring at will early. And then you're going to hear this name a lot. Charlie Kitchen, look for him to have a great college career. He had 4 goals and 2 assists in his first collegiate game. But Bucknell battled back. One guy who showed a lot of leadership was Charlie Klipstein, the goalie. He was pulled early by coach Frank Federaca, but really showed a lot of poise coming back and being a leader and playing better when he came back into the game. Defender Matt Gilroy, another guy who started off a little slow but had an impressive day. Just a really good ball-moving defenseman who really made a lot of big plays late too. The subtext of the day today, though, Coach Bob Schillinglaw at Delaware. His last opener as coach of the Blue Hens, he will retire at the end of the 2017 season. His 39th year at the helm in Newark, which is a remarkable accomplishment for any head coach. And in true coach fashion, he's looking forward to Monday, saying, we're going to get over the disappointment and let's get ready to work.
The 2017 NCAA Division I men's lacrosse season got off to an exciting start Thursday night, with Vermont fighting back against host Furman in a game that saw both teams exchange last-second scores before Cam Milligan fed Braden Davis for the game winner in OT. The Cardiac Catamounts continued their late heroics over the weekend, coming back to defeat Mercer 13-12 in overtime Saturday. In other early season action, Lehigh convincingly downed NJIT 15-5 at home, while Bryant traveled to Riverdale, New York and handled Manhattan 17-10. Taking advantage of their indoor facilities, Penn State hosted Robert Morris and outlasted them 15-11 in a contest between Keystone State schools. Sunday, Ohio State took down visiting Furman 12-6. That wraps up the first weekend of action of the 2017 season. Gear up for your season with Epic's innovative gear in the Gen 6 Dragonfly Shaft, Ultralight Otter Mesh, and the Hawk Prequel Head.